In a commission business, only the strong succeed. So how do we stay in tip-top shape? Let me go through some stuff on the survival list to make sure that you're at the top of your game. Treat every day as if it was the last day before going on holidays. So think of it this way. You've booked a holiday, and I'll bet you that list of stuff you got to get done before you go is as long as your arm. And the day before you're supposed to leave, you make your list, and then you're looking at that list, and what would normally take you 3 days takes you 3 hours. When you get up the next morning, your feet are moving before you're even out of bed. You've organized, prioritized, and structured exactly how you're going to get things done. You save minutes by cutting time off on your routes and mapping stuff out. And you still have time when you get to the airport for a cocktail. How's that possible? Think about what would happen to every day in your career if you treated every day as if it was the last day before your holidays. All of the things that take you days to do, you could get done in hours. And if you got it done in hours, what would you do with the extra time? Would you prospect more? Would you spend more time on yourself, your family? What would you do with it? But treat every day in real estate, when you get up, as if it was the last day before you were leaving on vacation. And I promise you, you're going to get more done. Get enough sleep. You know, I have somewhat of an expertise at this. I have sleep apnea, and so that means I snore so loud I could raise the dead. I finally went to a sleep center, and I went and had a sleepover at the clinic, and they did all the testing and figured out what was wrong with me, and now I travel with a machine. And I tell you this because I never really realized how tired I was until I got a CPAP machine. And when I got that machine, it was like somebody had jolted me full of electricity. So I understand how important sleep is, and I understand how it affects our mood. It's really important you get enough sleep because, as I said to you earlier, selling residential real estate takes patience. And if you're tired, you're not going to be patient with people, and you're just not going to have that level of tolerance that's necessary to help people with their decisions and choices. So be patient and get your sleep. Get to bed every night. Exercise regularly. I feel like such a hypocrite saying this. I grew up playing sports, and I love to exercise. But I have a commitment now that supersedes just about everything, and that commitment is you guys. And I have to tell you, exercise is one of those things on my calendar that I just don't seem to put time on. And it's going to be my goal coming up, is to find some time to start to get back into doing some cardio and some weight training again, just to make myself feel better. I don't have any aspirations of being a Greek god. That's not the case here. I just want to make sure I got the stamina and the strength to be able to do the job you're hiring me for. And I know that if I exercise a little bit, it helps with my energy, because when the body moves, the mind grooves. And that's important to make sure that I'm as creative and as patient as I need to be. So exercise is on my list of to-dos coming up. Eat healthy. I'm a foodie. I love to eat good food, and I have zero tolerance for bad food. I don't like fast food, and it's hard when you travel because a lot of times in an airport, all you can get is a day-old sandwich or some French fries or a slice of pizza. It's to the point now where I would rather eat nothing than eat something bad. I love good food. So what I'm recommending to you guys is get involved in your diet, because when you put good stuff in, it helps with your energy levels. It helps with your immune system. You don't get sick, you don't get the same, or at least you don't get as many colds, or the colds and flu don't have the same effect on you. So eat healthy, get some sleep, exercise regularly. And I don't think there's a doctor anywhere that wouldn't agree with those 3 statements. So let's think about what we're eating. Let's think about what we're doing from an exercise perspective and how much sleep we're getting. Listen to music you love. You know, it's really hard to be in a bad mood, listen to good music. For me, it's anything from the 1970s. I'm a classic rock guy. Electric guitar, complicated jazz, anything along those lines. But I'll tell you, when something comes on from the 70s and I'm driving, all of a sudden I look down at the speedometer and I'm doing 90 miles an hour. It's like I'm, all of a sudden turned into Mario Andretti. It's the music, it's the energy, it's the vibe. Doesn't it get you feeling good? So my suggestion to you is to go and get a playlist of really cool songs that really empower you. If you're an 80s person, a 90s person, whatever your music is, whatever gets the blood going in your body, where your feet start to tap, get a playlist together and use that on the way over to your listing appointments, so that when you go over, you got that energy going. You know what I'm talking about. You're coming in and people can just pick up on it. It's like electricity sparks from your fingertips because you just got a good vibe going. Music helps a lot. It's really hard you can't be in a bad mood and listen to good music. So my suggestion is put some good music on. It's going to change your attitude. Schedule personal time. The only way you're going to get it is if you put it on the calendar. That means time to go to the gym or time to read a book. I know some of us feel guilty even sort of, cozying up on the couch with a big plate of nachos and some cold beer to watch guy movies or romantic comedies, whatever is your thing. But you're allowed to do that. You have one life, and this is how you choose to spend it. It's your choice. Choose it. If that's what you like to do, then do it. But put some time on the calendar for you. You've earned it. You deserve it. And remember, if you don't, you're going to burn out. And if you burn out, then you're not going to be any good tomorrow. So we need to recharge the batteries. Take a fun vacation every year. Now, how do you take a fun vacation every year? You book it. That's what you do. So get together with your partner, your spouse, the family, whatever it is you're going to do. Get together and say, where do you want to go? And make it one of the things, not the only thing, one of the things this year that you're going to accomplish. And then take your Visa card out and book the vacation. And you know what? You're going to go. Because here's the other thing about booking a vacation. The closer you get to the vacation, the busier you get in real estate. It's kind of like this unwritten rule. If you want to get busy in real estate, book a vacation. And the biggest deal of your career will be negotiated on the way to the airport. So don't feel bad about going. I want you to know on the way to the airport and on the way to the vacation, just to make sure that you're going to get real busy. Your deal's going to come out of nowhere. So book a vacation every year and make it one of those memorable ones. One of the ones that the family says, do you remember when we were in Mexico and we went snorkeling off the Yucatan, or Belize, or make it a trip to with your wife, husband, or partner to Italy for a month. You can do anything you want. Let's just figure out what it is, set a goal, and make it part of the whole exercise, and bring the whole family in. So when you have to work a little late on a Friday night, or you got to work on a Saturday, remind everybody, we're going to Disneyland, we're going to Italy, we're going to Cancun, wherever it is you want to go. But book a vacation and pay for it. You know how you go? You book it and you pay for it, then you're going to go. That's how it works. Believe in yourself, because some days the only person who's going to believe in you is going to be you. So never stop believing you can. Next one I have is celebrate your successes. We have our big successes, our rewards for hitting the quarter numbers, or our semi-annual or our annual numbers, and that's great. But you also sold a house this week. So treat yourself to something. Take your husband, partner, spouse, family out for dinner. Treat yourself to a nice bottle of wine or a new pair of shoes. Every time you do something really well, treat yourself, because the mind is an interesting thing. When it gets in a habit of receiving rewards, then it will constantly require you to fulfill that outcome by getting you to do stuff. That's your mind. So treat yourself to little things along the way, and then you're going to feel like you've earned it, and then you'll want to earn it again and again and again. Love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I loved real estate. I have every aspect of it. It's been an amazing experience. I loved helping people find homes. For me, it was like a treasure hunt. Every time one of my clients bought a house, I bought a house. I lived vicariously through them. Every time one of my sellers sold and moved on with their life, I moved with them. I was really invested in my people. I love architecture. I love financing. I like helping people get their first house. I understand that when you sell a first-time home buyer house, it's really a whole event in terms of how it affects their life. They get their first house, then they get the move-up house, and then they get a bigger house, and then they get a smaller house, and then they sell the last house, and they use that money to help them with retirement. It's kind of the circle of life, and I know I'm part of their circle. So I've enjoyed real estate from A to Z. Volunteer, give back to your community. And the interesting thing about volunteering, when you give back, the community recognizes it, and it almost like it affects you positively, and more business comes your way because of it. I'm going to suggest you give back to the real estate board. You know, it's one of the things we forget about, but we stand on the shoulders of people who have volunteered hours and hours and hours of their life so that we can have the business we have today. Get involved in the PAC committee, arbitration, political affairs, the board of directors, the finance committee. There's lots of things you can make a contribution to a great industry that has made it possible for us to have a great life. The rocking chair test. When you're too old to get off the front porch and you look over your shoulder at the life you've lived, will you have done everything you wanted? Will you have tasted, tried, and experienced everything? Will your career will it have been as rewarding as you expected? Remember, this is not a dress rehearsal. Get in the game. Give it 110%. And then I'm going to ask you about your bucket list. What is your list of things you want to do before it's all said and done? Trip to Europe, South America, I don't know. What adventures do you want to have? What experiences do you want to experience? What things do you want to see, own? Make the list. Create the vision board. Prioritize the goals. Set up the activities and work yourself through it to have an amazing life. Pay it forward. It's important that you help the next generation. Everything I know about real estate has been taught to me by other people. I can tell you honestly or sincerely, I have not had one unique idea. I hope I do before my career is over. And you can say, that's a leaderism. That's a leader idea. I learned that from Chris. That was his idea, but I haven't. I have studied the masters that have walked the path ahead of me. I have studied the top producers, and I constantly engage with industry leaders, thought people, anything that I can. And as I acquire that information, and trust me when I say 40 years of information is a lot, I have a responsibility now. My responsibility is to give it to you. And now you have it. You have a responsibility. You have to take it and give it to the next generation to keep this thing alive and keep it going. So I'm passing you the torch. It's up to you now.